Hello, welcome to another edition of the Mexico in the World podcast. The podcast for us to talk about celebrations, events, and more about Mexico and the world on this occasion. As always, we are going to cover several topics. We are going to start with May 5th, what is commemorated the Battle of Puebla. This reminds us of how the Mexican army beat the French army in Puebla in the second intervention of this French army. Note that this celebration is celebrated every year. What a redundancy in the Mexican embassies in other countries, and I think that it is very important. Even in these other countries, because for example, even this year President Biden is present at this commemoration. It seems that abroad they really like to see how it is celebrated. How is this type of event commemorated in Mexico, which has a long history in our country? Let's talk about another topic. What is May 8th? What is the commemoration of the Red Cross? What is very important because the Red Cross began in Switzerland and now it can be said that it covers practically the whole world. The important thing about the Red Cross is the work it does, because even as many of you know, and after seeing if you follow what is happening in the Ukraine war with Russia, that the work of the Red Cross has been very important. Let's not forget all the importance of the work of the Red Cross, and that is why they receive these donations every year in order to support their work and be able to carry out this aid to the civilian population. The institution of the Red Cross that, as I was saying, is vital throughout the world, because in fact the Red Cross has given rise to more institutions of this type in the world that are dedicated to helping civilians. Now we are going to talk about the fact that on May 8th those who died in the Second World War are also remembered. This is a very important celebration in Europe, because this type of commemoration always takes us back to old memories, and especially if it is about wars and more with what is being experienced today in Ukraine. And for this reason also on May 9th, we cannot ignore the fact that Europe Day is celebrated. So for Europeans in May it is very important because they have many commemorations, and of course especially to celebrate Europe Day. And finally, I wanted to mention the 10th of May here in Mexico. Mother's Day is celebrated. I know that in other countries it is celebrated on other days, but here in Mexico it is celebrated on May 10th. And of course the other countries too. It is very important because there is nothing like celebrating the person, one of the most important people in our lives, who else gave us life. The traditional thing is to give mom her little gifts and take her out to eat to celebrate on her day, and as always they already know pink chocolates, but the most important thing is generally to try to take mom to a good restaurant, especially so that on this her day that is celebrated Mother's Day, to rest and have a good time. That's all for the moment in this edition of Mexico and the World. Thank you for listening to us, and I did not want to say goodbye without reminding you of our social networks on email: podcastmexicointheworld@gmail.com, Twitter @MexicoTheWorld, Facebook Mexico in the World Podcast, YouTube Mexico in the World. Thanks again for listening to us, and we look forward to seeing you in our next edition. Thanks, bye.